Hello everyone, welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 5 very best 58mm Swiss Army knives. Now these are best in my eyes, the ones I think work best for me. Obviously yours may vary, but if you've got a different 5, let me know in the comments below. I would love to know your opinions on the ones I've picked. I'd also like to know what your favourite one is, because there's so many to choose from. Unfortunately, a lot of the 58mm have been since discontinued. Which is a shame, because a lot of them have been really good. But I've tried to go for ones that are all available right now, because that kind of makes sense to pick ones that you could all possibly go and pick if you like to see one on the video. But let's jump straight into it, and I'm going to start off already and ruin it by doing a number 6 for an honourable mention, because this is one of my favourites. Now the one I've got here was actually a gift from Naked Sean, or Sean T, you'd know him from Discord. I keep this one in the little Victorinox sort of plastic style slip. And this is the 58mm Companion. Now the 58mm Companion is pretty much identical to the Classic, so the Classic being the predecessor to the Classic SD, only this has smooth ALOX scales and has no keyring. And these knives pretty much live in my wallet or in the side of my backpack in that little slip, and they're perfect for any sort of small jobs you may have. It's great to have a little nail file on the go along with a little blade. See that on there, this has the SD tool on it, so you get the little flathead screwdriver. Nice little main blade, and then you also get these scissors on there as well. Big fan of these little companions, I think they're absolutely fantastic. I did get a red one, new old stock, gifted to me by John over at Thrifty Kniffy, so John as well, thank you very much for that. If any of you don't know, the little red one is actually my desk knife for opening parcels. But honourable mention number 6, the 58mm Companion. And the model number for these, if you can find them, they are around somewhere on the secondary market. You can pick them up relatively cheap. 0.620010. That's for the red one. These silver ones were done as sort of advertiser knives, so they're quite hard to find, the silver ones, but the red ones you can find still readily available. Coming in at number 5, it's going to be no shock to anyone's top 5 list. It's the Victorinox Classic or Classic SD. The only difference really being is the SD being the newer version with the little screwdriver tool on there. But here's one I have in, I forget, in Tropical Surf, I think this colour's called. So you get the standard 58mm tool, so you get the pen blade, you get the nail file with the screwdriver tip up there as well. And then as well as that, you get the scissors. And this is pretty much going to be most people's favourites, like go-to to have a keychain knife. It's probably the most sold Victorinox knife they've ever made, and you can probably see why. Classic design, small enough to fit on your keys, has all the tools you're ever going to need for sort of a day-to-day use if you were an office worker, or if you just want something on your keys just to sort of use day-to-day. But big fan of this. It comes in loads of different variations. They've got the standard red. They must have about 4 million different colours now, but we have the blue there, which is the SD. Now this next one is very special to me. This was actually my mother's Classic. She had in her keychain. She bought this back in '85, as that's when the scales have got the date on the inside. So this is all original. The blade was pretty sharpened down, so all I've done is sort of make it into kind of a Warncliffe style sheep's foot blade. And you can see with it being the Classic, you don't have the screwdriver tip on the end, you just have the nail cleaner. And you also get these scissors on this one as well. So you can see you get them in black, red, whatever colour pretty much you like. So we've got the SD. These are all coming at number 5, because they're all the same pattern, just different variations. You can also get it in an ALOX, and this is in the Lime Twist ALOX. Again, exactly the same tool set. So you get the name tag with Victorinox on the back. And if you want to go a little bit above and beyond, you can actually go a little bit pricey and get the Precious ALOX. Honestly, the only real difference is you can see that when you move it, it moves in the light, and that's just the way it's pressed compared to the standard. There's no benefit whatsoever. You're just paying a little bit more premium for the design. I wanted to try one out, so I did pick one up. But compared, these are about 20 odd, and I think this was 30, so it is quite expensive for what it is, especially being that you get exactly the same tool set, nothing different on there at all. I do find though that the pull on the blades is a little bit stronger on these ALOX models than it is on the Celador ones. But that is the precious A-locks. We've got the A-locks and then the Celador ones as well, coming in at number 5, the classic / classic SD. Number 4 is going to be a favourite for a lot of people out there. It's going to be the Rally, and the model number for that is 0.6163. Again, another one-layer design with excellent functionality. This one you can see has got the red Celador. Now I do replace the toothpick and tweezers with these black ones. I just think the contrast looks a little bit better than the two-tone you get on the original. I'm not sure why they went for grey and then sort of an off-white. I don't know why they didn't just do them the same colour, but obviously something to do with the plastic they needed to use for the handle of each one. Obviously the toothpick needs to be a bit more like malleable and needs to bend around a bit. But the Rally then, so you get the main pen blade, you get the flathead screwdriver with the nail file, and then instead of the scissors you get this little combo tool in the 58, and this one is fantastic. So you get like the wire stripper / bender, you get the cap lifter, and then you get a little Phillips head screwdriver on the end, which is actually magnetized, which makes it very useful for doing those sort of small tricky screws, because a lot of them are a pain in the ass to get to, and with that magnetization on there, it does keep the screw on the end and you haven't got to worry about it dropping off, because we all know they're an absolute pain to sort of pick up, especially when they're so small. You can't really pick it up decent. You have to sort of, mess around to try and get it on the end. But the Rally, that's another very, very good one. One of my favorites, coming at number 4, sorry. Number 3, I know is a favorite. The Midnight Manager is another favourite with Mark over at EDC. He pretty much carries one of these daily. And I can see why. It's a really nice little compact 58mm with great functionality. So you get a pen blade on here. You get the same combo tool, which is on the Rally. You get the scissors. And then you also get the nail file and screwdriver tool. Now, this is Celador. You do not get the toothpick and tweezers on this. You probably can see the little battery down here. And if you press the shield, you have a little LED flashlight. Now, is it the brightest thing in the world? No. Is it perfect for being on your keys and in a pinch situation? Maybe, I don't know, you drop your phone down the side of the chair in your car. It's always dark down there. You can't see anything. This works perfectly for that. It lights up enough that you can see what you're doing. And as well as that, on the back, you get the retractable pen. See that there? Perfect again for in a pinch situation. I want to make a quick note and give you a bit of a tip with this pen. It can be quite awkward to work with in this sort of position because it's mainly you've got to put a lot of pressure to hold it. But if you take out the nail file and if you turn it this way so it folds down like this, you can actually hold it like a normal pen. And you see this rests up here. It makes it a lot easier to write with. But there we go, the Midnight Manager. That's coming in at number 3, and the model number is 0.6366.T2. Now the T2 stands for these translucent sapphire scales. If you just take off the T2, you get the standard red Celador. Coming in at number 2 is the Mini Champ, and more specifically the A-locks Mini Champ is the one I have here. Now the actual Celador Mini Champ is on my car keys, which are downstairs, and that's too far away for me to get. So we're going to look at the A-locks one instead. Only difference being the Celador, you would get the pen, the retractable pen off of this, and then you would have the tweezers on the front scale. But this one you can see has been carried a lot. This is in the black. I'm not sure which this was an exclusive for. I did pick this up off the secondary market, off of Judd. But this pretty much has all the tools of any 58mm you're going to want. So it has the little physician's spoon, spatula thing on there. You have behind that, if I can get it out, you have the flathead screwdriver with a little rule on one side. You have the orange peeler, which honestly is way better at opening those clamshell packages with that wicked edge on the corner there. Perfect if you want to like dig it in and then go work your way around the outside of the packaging. This is pretty much my go-to tool to do that. Works, it's excellent for it. We also get the little letter opener / Warncliffe trach blade on there as well. That one's really cool. I wish they would put that out on a lot more of the 58mm. And then behind that we have the nail file and the nail cleaner. On the other side then we get the main blade. We have that combo tool which we mentioned on the previous two models, magnetized as well on the end. We have then as well the scissors. Perfect for the office environment, those little 58mm, perfect for cutting off threads, things like that on clothes. No one's going to get offended by that at all. So that is the Mini Champ / Alox Mini Champ. One of my all-time favourites, this one. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of, there's quite a few tools on here which I'm probably never going to use, which is this Physician's little spatula thing. I'm never going to use that. Although I would probably use the flathead screwdriver on this. The rule I'm not going to use. They could have put the flathead screwdriver straight on with the nail file like on the classic SD. The trach blade I do use. Maybe you could have replaced the trach blade with the main blade and just taken that blade off and probably taken a couple of tools off that, and it would have been pretty much perfect for me. Which leads us on to number 1. So my favourite of all of them I've got so far, all the ones that have been released, without a doubt, it's going to be a favourite for a lot of people. It's the Rambler. It's basically a compact version of the Mini Champ. It's just fantastic. I have one on my keys all the time. I actually have the Celador Mini Champ on my car keys because it has the most sort of tool set. It has that pen on it and things like that. A little bit of extra functionality. And then on my house keys, I either have this or I have one more actually, which is going to be a bonus I'm going to mention right at the end of the video, which I do think everyone in the UK should pick up as it's fantastic. And I'm going to show you a combination between two things which work really well together. But on with this one. This is the Rambler 0.6361. You have the combo tool again with the magnetized screwdriver, the wire stripper and the cap lifter. On the back of that you get the pen blade, and then behind that we have the flathead screwdriver with the nail file, and of course you get the pair of scissors as well. So you can see we're just losing the things you wouldn't particularly use too much from the Mini Champ and having them all in this all-in-one package on here. One of the favourite things about this sort of one, if you notice, if we compare it to, for example, let's just use this SD here. So see how the main blade opens up towards the keyring. Now the Rambler and the Mini and the Midnight Manager open up away from it. And I think that makes it so much more versatile and so much easier to use. You think this is on your keys, you're going to have your keys dangling here and it's going to be, you know, like cumbersome to use. You can have your keys all on your palm. It does make it a bit of a pain. But with it like this, obviously now you're going to have your keys dangling down here, but it's going to be a lot easier to maneuver with it out of the way rather than being hanging up here. So that's one of the reasons why I love the Rambler. I think it's fantastic. Of course, you also get the toothpick and the tweezers on this as well. So that's my 5 favourite. Now on with the honourable mention at the end, or the little bonus knife. It's going to be the Jet Setter, and you can see this is on my house keys. This is in the orange that I did take off another SD to make it from red into orange. It sort of fit the colour scheme. The Jet Setter then does not have a blade. All it has is these two here. So if you're like me and you carry a main knife and then a Swiss Army knife as well, the Swiss Army knife blade doesn't really get that used. So this is perfect for in the UK or anyone that wants a minimalist EDC. You can have the combo tool and the scissors, compact, folded away, and then I pair that with the Rosecraft Blades Awanata. So you get a D2 Warncliffe blade on a keychain with the bonus of the Victorinox functionality. I think this is a perfect combination, and I love that you can get the Awanata in different colour materials. They're also available on Heine Haynes. The Jet Setter is on Amazon for a very reasonable price. RCM009OR, of course, being the orange. Honestly, if you want a minimalist carry, I could quite happily do my full day with this. Could put a little lanyard on that and attach this to the lanyard, and you've got wonderful functionality. But there we go, guys. That's my overview of the 5 best Victorinox 58mm Swiss Army knives that you can pick up right now. This one, of course, is discontinued, but you can find them. The rest are all very readily available. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Matt's got a channel, man sharp as a blade. Slipjoint Sawyer is the name he